everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world and you're watching and listening to Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. And today's series, it's the series of really interesting and hopefully useful for a lot of people interviews that we are doing on this show every time you're watching it. I hope it's going to inspire you, and I have no doubt that today's interview especially is going to inspire all women watching and listening to us to go to new heights and soar and empower themselves and everybody else. Why? Because my guest today is France Barringer, who is an amazing woman of power and who is the goddess herself. So welcome, welcome, France.
Oh, thank you, Zhanna. What a
Yeah.
great welcome.
Thank you
Um,
so much. So, Franz, may I, with your permission, kind of inform everybody, all our listeners, about who you are, just briefly, with your, just a few lines from your official bio.
oh,
Is that
yeah,
okay?
sure. The short version.
The short version will
Yeah,
be brief because we want to have the conversation
yes, yes.
with you. So,
And
guys, if you don't know this gorgeous woman, she is, so France Barringer is the founder of the Goddess Formula Institute. And in addition to that, we will dive deep into what it's all about. But in addition to being the founder of this Goddess Formula Institute, she is also a transformational author and a coach, and she's a Reiki healer and high frequency channel. She's a certified hypnotherapist, a motivational speaker, and an intuitive soul reader. She is a graduate agent of conscious evolution and has been initiated in the lineage of
Paramount,
uh,
Yogananda,
Paramahansa
yes.
mhm, Yogananda. Well, that's beautiful. I honestly would love to have a little bit of more understanding of what that means. Yogananda, I think I have a kind of a vague idea of what that is, but yeah, go ahead and
He
let us
was
know.
the Indian guru that brought the teachings in the Western world
Hmm.
from India.
So awesome.
Yes.
From my personal perspective, Hans, I've known you for several years already. You've done the work for me. You've done the reading, the soul readings, and it was absolutely mind blowing. As much as I'm not on the woo woo side, I am very spiritual, but not woo woo. The last reading, and you know that I shared that with you,
Yeah.
blew me away completely with the insights from it, and it was just fascinating. And I know you as a very bright, light, beautiful light worker who is doing an amazing work in the world. So
Thank you.
thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely. It's my honor.
Yeah.
And
Well, let's dive right into the Goddess Formula Institute. What it's all about.
well, the Goddess Formula Institute is geared to empower women. And if you have noticed, which I'm sure you have, being a woman, there is that feminine energy, this power surging in the world right now that so many women are participating in. And one of the ways that I found to empower women is for them to discover their goddess types, which are their own archetypal behaviors and characteristics that we are born with, that are already innate in us. And those patterns of behaviors are part of the collective consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
but they are enacted in us individually. So it's fascinating to find out that every woman at the level of their soul are already they already have in them an archetype, one, at least one, and predominant archetype, and oftentimes two or three secondary ones.
Interesting.
And they lead their lives with those archetypes and embodying them. And oftentimes, a woman may not understand her behavior or not knowing why she does what she does, just because she's not aware of her own archetypal characteristics.
Mm.
So once she discovers those behaviors and characteristics that are in her, she gets a new knowledge, a new perspective about herself, and look at the map of her life and can change from a new perception of, okay, awareness is the key. So I've done this. Now, is it possible that I can change those behaviors by reenacting, inviting, being in attunement with other goddess archetypes that we can also invite into our lives to empower us?
Mm. Wow, that's a
And a good example of that would be like if someone is in a relationship that has never worked for them, there is a way where you can look at that relationship and yes, embrace all the gifts that comes with that, but also how can I transform that relationship within myself first by being aware, by embracing who I am, but then also embracing new behaviors and in empowering myself to attract different type of relationships in my life that could serve me in a better way. So
interesting.
that's one aspect.
That's
Another
very
would be a career as well.
That is amazing because it's very, to me, it sounds very powerful that if you can, I mean, it's basically what you're doing is the inner work, and you're focusing on women discovering their goddess archetypes. How did you? Well, first of all, the first question that I have,
Yes.
the way you speak is amazing. I
Oh,
love to hear different energies and different melodies of the language. Where are you from, France?
yeah, I'm from Quebec, Canada, so I am French Canadian.
Hmm.
And I have learned English when I moved to the US. And so, yeah.
I just love the melody. I just love the melody of your language. It's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Any knowledge about the name, the meaning of your name?
Well, France is like in the US, people relate to the country, right?
Of
Because
course. Yeah, because it's right
so,
on the surface.
but in Canada, in fact, in Quebec, it's very common to have that name, France. But we are born with a specific frequency with our names. So that's very interesting to know that, like for me, my name starting with an F,
Hmm.
so it represents that I have a message to carry into the world and also to be in alignment with that message and without any attachment to outcomes.
That is profound. And thank you for bringing the importance of saying the name. And I know you corrected me several times when we had preliminary conversations because I used to call you
Yeah.
France, just like the name of the country. But it's really important, and I've learned it through the work that I've been doing through my teaching and
Yes.
speaking and singing, that knowing how to pronounce the person's name is really important. I didn't know why intuitively,
Yeah.
but you just explained it, that it's the frequency that everybody carries in the name. So
Right.
that was really, really interesting. And just hopefully it's going to ring the bell for all of us. So when we are meeting people on the street, try to say, even if it's several times, we can ask them to say that name several times so that we can be as close as possible to the frequency that they want. But that was my first question. Second, more important question, Franz. How did you discover the work of the goddesses and what role it played in your personal life? Well, I want to get into a little bit of who you are, why you started doing that work. Were you born with that? So what was going on?
Well, I always,
Too many questions, I know.
no, but that's okay. The work of the goddess came to me, well, in 2012. I graduated from the Institute with Barbara Marx Hubbard. So I became an agent of conscious evolution. And in the program that I graduated from, we were doing work with archetypes.
Was it only for women or men and women?
It-
For women only?
Yeah, no. Men,
Oh, for both.
yes.
Okay.
So what was fascinating to me was to also realize, I mean, the psychiatrist Carl Jung did a lot of based his psychology on archetypal characteristics. And so with the work I was doing with the evolution of consciousness, one of the ways we were using was to tap into archetypal beings of light. I know it may sound like, okay, well, but it's part of the quantum field. It's part of, we have access to that. So I continued after I graduated from the conscious evolution. I continued to do my studies because I was very fascinated by the aspects of that. And I did some research also with Deepak Chopra. He spoke a lot about goddess archetypes. I became interested in his work on that. And also Dr. Bolan, that did extensive research. And she is also a psychiatrist and based her teaching, the way she helped her clients was also through archetypal goddess archetypes. And she used the Greek goddesses. So it became fascinating to me. So then I decided, okay, well, there's something there that's really attracting me to this work. So as I continue my research and I discovered about my own archetypes, it started to make perfect sense that why I lived the life that I lived, and also what was pressing me to discover myself and also transform myself.
So can you tell us a little bit more so that we kind of understand what is the story? What did you have to overcome that brought you closer to that work?
Challenges in my life, and I wrote my life story 3-4 years ago.
You published a book.
Yes, right. So it is on Amazon. Actually, I published 2 books, Healing the Broken Pieces of My Life and Healing the Broken Pieces of My Life and Yours, because on that book, I specifically recommend the ways that I used to heal myself in that journey. And for me, healing is never completely done. So healing is a process. So after I released all those emotions concerning my life story, which was very challenging at times, I also discovered new ways of, okay, now I've done this work. I have released those emotions. I know how to heal them and continue the process of healing. Because when we are of a journey, it's always endings and beginnings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say that it was the ending of that particular journey, but it started a new one. And that
Mm-hmm.
new one is where I am today, is
Ron,
embracing the life story, our story, and learn from it and embrace the teachings that come with it, and then bring it out to the world.
I personally interesting how you would define healing. Because to me, I always there are two different categories of people who do not like. I think in Eastern countries, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's in the, but somewhere in the world, nobody accepts that word, and I'm kind of in between, for the lack of the better one. But healing to me kind of define like presuppositions that something is already broken. So what's your definition of healing? Do you,
Um, I would say that the healing the journey itself. For example, if I dislike an aspect of my life, I can't look at it. I cannot be aware of the lessons that it brought me.
uh-huh.
So looking at my life in a different way is what are the gifts that they have brought me, and how can I look at it to empower myself as opposed to feel disempowered by my circumstances. It changes the whole thing. It becomes a different frequency about our challenges.
Mhm.
So we have to look at our lives, for me personally, as as a gift as opposed to a victim mentality. So that's what healings means for me.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I know it from my own experience that when I personally switched or made a shift, or into looking at my life as a victor rather than the victim,
Yes.
it changed the perspective. It reminds me of the quote that Wayne Dyer was using. I don't think it's his, but we are passing it from generation to generation.
Yes.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You know
Very,
that quote, of course.
very true.
Of
Yes.
course.
It
What
doesn't.
is,
Yeah.
Hans, so from your personal, like having gone through, I guess we just need to get the books to
Yeah.
to get into your story to see what was happening. Or maybe you could share one or two like major shifts that you had to create for yourself. But before you do it, what is after you have gone through so much? What is something that is non-negotiable for you when you are dealing with people in any relationship? It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Like, what is this non-negotiable aspect of being of you in the world?
Um, that's a good question. Non-negotiable. And it,
Something that is always true. Something
because
that,
because for me, it's it's may sound strange, but everything is negotiable.
oh, okay. Well, that's a
So
good point.
I don't close myself off, particularly unless after many negotiations, there is no resolutions.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I can't be as negotiable as I want to be.
mm-hmm,
But if a circumstance or the other person presents it herself or himself to me in the same way that no longer works for me, then
mm-hmm.
it becomes an impossible situation. So then, yes, I will call that unnegotiable anymore because there is no possibility to meet in the middle.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
can't have that conversation anymore, right?
Right, right, right. But as a person, on a personal note, meaning like speaking about your values, your personal values, after you have discovered all these goddess archetypes
Yeah.
and what is actually empowering you, are there any things that are
Yes. Oh, I see. Definitely. I no longer, I have the tools. So I have the tools to transmute emotions that are not serving me at any moment. I can make that choice.
Wow. Well, first of all, thank you for letting us know that it's a choice. Any emotion that we
Mm.
experience is a choice. That's
It,
what you're saying?
it is a choice because I can change it. I can
Yeah.
transform it into
Mhm.
what serves me best.
Mhm.
But it is also very, very good and important that I look at, well, why? What is it that I feel this way? There is a reason for it. Don't deny it. Look at that emotion and then accept it and allowing it to be there as opposed to, oh no, I shouldn't be feeling this way.
Mhm.
I need to honor my emotions and then accept them and allowing them to be there. And then, therefore, I don't create the resistance because what we resist persists, right?
Yes. Yes.
So without resistance, I am there freeing myself to transform that emotion into a higher frequency, what could be joy, peace, serenity. So, but it is a process. And once we learn the tools that can help us, it's very comfortable to do.
How do you define success?
Success, I defined it as it's an internal process. It's
Mm.
not from the outside. I feel successful if I succeed in mastering my emotions, since we're talking about emotion.
Mhm.
I feel successful when I can give something to others that I discover I have in me, and I can share that with others. It gives me great pleasure to do that. And one of the ways is to do the work with the goddess, because we are all goddesses and gods. I mean, I'm not excluding men, but we are speaking about women.
Mhm.
So, how do we tap into that feminine power that is so prevalent today? There is no better time than now.
Mm.
So, we have the energy to carry us through. And that's success to me, to see what's happening in the world with those gorgeous women and standing up for themselves and being non-negotiable anymore about abuse
Exactly.
and so forth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
success, that's what that is. It's many things, but it is mainly an internal process.
It's inside out and not outside in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And this sounds incredible. I mean, I personally, well, two things. I know you have an event that
Yeah.
is coming up in March,
Right.
right? Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about the event. And it's all around the goddess archetypes, right?
Yes, definitely. So the women that come to my event, it's March 10 and 11.
10 and 11 in 2018.
Yes, which is perfect time, close to the spring. And so they will discover their own goddess types and
Mhm.
what that means for them. So, what are the characteristics of those archetypes that are within them? So, it creates awareness about themselves. And then we will move a little deeper into the work of okay, what does that mean? How does that apply for a woman in her life, in her work, in her relationship? if she has the archetypal characteristic of a mother, what does that mean? Also, different aspects that
Mhm.
we will look into. So we will cover the 7 archetypes.
Oh, there are 7. Okay.
7 archetypes.
Mhm.
And then we will definitely look at the characteristics and how does that apply in their life, in their relationship, in their work, and also how can they use those archetypes to transform themselves at a
Is it gonna be beautiful? Is it gonna be experiential? Like I'm coming. You know that,
oh,
right?
perfect. I
So,
love that.
well, I would like to experience everything that you do in a
Okay.
deeper level because, yes, it's very interested in this work. Question: is it going to be more experiential where people and all these women in the room are going to do the work actually in the room, or
Absolutely.
is it going to be more like lecture style?
It will be more like workshop style,
Awesome, awesome,
which is
awesome. Yes,
there will be
because
some mind work
of
because the
course,
knowledge to acquire about the different types of goddesses.
yeah.
And then there will be the internal process of how do I integrate, how do I embody.
So we do get the results after how many days? Is it one day? Is it no? 10, you said 10, 11,
Yeah.
right? On in March. Where can we find the information about this event so
On
that we can start, planning about it?
yes, on my website,
So what's the way?
it is available. So if you go to www.francebarringer.com,
Let me write it down.
and I will spell it because it's my
Of
name
course.
is not an easy name to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's F as in Frank, RAN as in Nancy, C as in Charlie, Barringer, B as in boy, ARRINGER
.com,
dot
right?
com. Yeah.
.com. Let me repeat it. I wrote it down, so it's www France Barringer. So
Mhm.
FRANCEBARRINGER.com, correct?
Yes. BA, right? That's
BA, yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
BARRINGER.com. Awesome. And then maybe after we finish with the interview, we can also put the website for you guys in the comments. So if you know of someone or you personally, if you're a woman who is striving for the better life and better understanding, internal understanding of why you do what you do, why you're not doing what you would like to do, but you would. So you kind of want to bring your life and internal awareness of that on a deeper, bigger, much higher level, just go and check out France's website. But France, I have to tell you, I've got an idea right now.
Okay.
Let me see. This is totally, we're playing it by ear. We'll see what you say.
Okay.
What if would you be open to do to help me discover my goddess archetypes and for me to be the guinea pig for all these women who are watching, so that they can experience a little bit of the transformation on the spot. I don't even know if I can expect the transformation, but I'm willing to be
Yes.
openly naked. I mean,
Yeah.
not naked, naked, but soul naked,
Yes.
so these women can see and experience the work that you do. Would you be open to that?
Absolutely. Why not? Let's play. Let's play together. That would be
Yes,
fun.
yes, yes, yes. So here's what we'll do. How about we'll do very soon, and we'll keep you posted, guys. We will, and ladies, very soon. Let's do another interview, and whatever. Do I need? You'll tell me if I need to do some preliminary work, so that we can. I don't know your. goddess archetype work, but it sounds intriguing. And
Yeah.
I want to see what changes it's going to have and bring into my personal life. And you guys can witness. How about that? That would be, Franz, thank you so much. That would be really cool.
Absolutely. My pleasure. That will be fun.
So we're kind of we're wrapping up the interview. I hope you've got some insights about France today, about the goddess archetype formula and what it's all about and why she's so passionate about that. At the end, before we officially end the interview, I always ask my guests, what is this one gem, 1 to 2 gems out of your treasure box? What is this piece of wisdom that you can share with us?
What I can say today, it would be to look at your life as a beautiful, beautiful gift that was given to you. And to you, and also embrace your life as um, your teacher. Because when I discovered that if I see my life as my teacher, that brought me such a different love and perspective about it. So
Wow.
see your life as your teacher.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Regardless of everything that we're going through. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, such a beautiful quote. Thank you so much. Hans, and you guys, um, we are watching Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refi, and refuel your life. And I don't even want to end the show today. I feel like I want to continue talking. But today, my guest was the amazing goddess, France Barringer. And we are going apparently to see each other again very soon, where you guys will discover, and me, including me, my personal goddess archetypes and see how it can transform and change your life through the work that France does. I am so grateful to you for being open to this to this crazy good idea. Thank you, Franz. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Could you share with our listeners and everybody who is watching that today is a special day because Franz told me something I didn't know before we started the interview.
And
What day?
today is a perfect day to do this because tonight it would be the new moon. So, what a perfect time to start something new, which we are co-creating, right?
Yeah.
So, if you could write down one or two, three intentions that you have for your life, something you want to create new, what is emerging in you that you can just wish, your deepest desire, write them down and be silent with that, embrace them because the new moon is the perfect time to create something new and see those intentions as seeds that you plant into fertile soil and watch them grow.
Amazing, amazing. So thank you, Franz. Thank you for watching. Please leave us comments if you have comments for Franz or for me. You can leave the comments under this video. You can also go to my website hbacademytoday.com to the radio section and reach out over there. There is YouTube available, Zhanna Spitz, and also if you're planning to go to this event, Goddess Formula event in March that France Barringer is organizing for all of us, powerful women, then you can go to www.francebarringer.com and you will see that website right underneath in this video in the comments. Have an amazing day and set your intentions for 2018 today because it's the full moon. Yeah, or the new moon. The new moon. Yes. Thank you, Franz. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.